welcome back to the 6 o'clock show. The fabulous Mamaba is still with us.
But now let's welcome someone who talks to trees, and I believe the trees talk back. Is that right?
That's complete rubbish.
It's only Mother Nature herself, the Green Queen, Ain't Louder. There's an intro and a half.
You can find him on that one. You can find him on that
me
one.
out to be a complete idiot. I don't talk to trees, and they don't talk to me. I'm not King Charles. Get a grip.
I'm just reading what's in front of me.
You are. Well, you are our Mother Nature.
Absolutely.
I'm here in blue in honour of the occasion.
Oh, yes. And
Yes,
so
I'm in blue as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll jump right into it because Dublin Zoo has some positive news, which is nice because
Yes,
after a couple of weeks.
They got a new male lion, a new Asian lion.
Yes.
And this is great news because below in photo a couple of months ago, they had 2 new baby Asian lion cubs. And now they got a new man up over in Dublin Zoo. And he's meeting the lady up there who's called Kamala, would you believe?
And this Asian lion is called Kushanu.
Yeah,
so Kushanu and Kamala.
There's other people called Kamala as well.
Yeah. I wonder if he was named after a certain Kamala. Who knows?
Who don't know, he's the man. The man is not called Kamala. Anyway, he's a 5-year-old male. They came from Edinburgh Zoo, and he's an Asian lion. And because he's a male, they have the loudest roars of all of the cat species. You can hear a lion roaring 8 kilometres away.
Wow.
That deep of a thing. And the Asian lions have a much smaller mane than the African lions. You know, the Lion King and his big hair and his beautiful...
So that's the distinctive difference.
Well,
the mane.
it was different species, and the mane is shorter and darker.
Yeah.
There's only one place that they live in the wild now, and that's in India, in a huge reserve, and there's 500 of them there, and that's it. They're that endangered. There's just one place left in the wild in the world. So that's why it's really important to breed them in the zoos so that we have a supply of them so that the species doesn't go extinct.
So the plan is for Kushanu and Kamala to
Well, if
mate.
they fall in love madly, we have to hope that they do.
I don't know if love is a factor.
Fingers crossed.
They certainly managed below in photo. They're great at breeding animals down there. So they got 2 lion cubs down there. So, you know, it's the way to go. And it's great because they have stud books for these. So they'll know this chap from Edinburgh will be suited to herself. They won't be too related or anything like that. So it'll work out very well. So it's great news. And another reason to go to the zoo and have a look at it. Dublin Zoo is a great place to go on your holidays. When you're on your holidays, to go for a visit, it's a great place.
I do. I go there all the time as well. It's great. And all the zookeepers, all the team down there do a fantastic job. Now, this time of year, of course, so many of us are in the sea, off for sea swims. But one thing to watch out for, of course, are the jellyfish. And why are more beaches than others full of jellyfish at the moment, Tina?
Why is it all bad news? Jellyfish are part of our environment. And the reason why we have more is because we are reducing the amount of biodiversity in the sea. They're part of the food chain. The fish eat the baby jellyfish. If we overtake and take all the fish away and take them out, well, then we won't have any jellyfish left. And that was Portmarnock Beach, that last slide there, 4 or 5 years ago, where the lion's mane jellyfish washed up. And
And there was thousands of them on the beach.
In that particular case.
Yeah.
This year there was a beach in Kilkee and another one in Doonbeg in County Clare, and there was little small moon jellies there. Now, all jellyfish have stings because that's how they actually catch their food. The tentacles hang out from underneath. But some of them, you know, you'd barely feel them stinging you. So
That's
something
the
that
Portmarnock
that's
jellyfish.
the Portmarnock.
I actually took that shot myself.
Yeah, but that's for many years ago, was that 2022 or something?
That was 2020.
Yeah, I know, yeah. So, I mean, don't be showing that until people think that's this week. That's 4 years ago.
He said summer 2020. Look, it's on the screen.
I'm just saying it out loud because people only half
Steady
look
Mother
at it.
Nature.
People only half look at the television and they'll all be saying they said on the telly just stuff. That was 4 years ago, folk. They're not there this year.
Yeah,
It's
we
grand.
said it on the TV.
It's
We
grand.
said
Yeah, well, I'm
summer
just pointing it out.
2020.
So the lion's mane jellyfish has a horrible sting. You really do not want to encounter that. So that's why they close the beaches when they come in. But the ones that look like fried eggs, you'd hardly feel those are gone in 10 or 15 minutes. There's a thing called the compass jellyfish, which has lines on it like a compass. The sting of that isn't very bad either, you know.
So
They're not
I don't
all
want
bad.
any stings
Would you
from any
get a
jellyfish.
sting off the common jellyfish?
Well, you would if you went after it and put your hand underneath it and touched it. It's like getting stung with a nettle. It'll be gone in 10 minutes.
And the severity of a sting then with a lion's mane sting, what's the difference between them?
Well, one is called mild and the other is called severe.
There it is, there now.
Wow.
No, that's
the
a
lion's
blue
mane.
jellyfish. That's not the lion's mane.
That's not, no.
That's the
No,
blue
that's
jellyfish.
blue.
one,
Yeah,
okay.
that's see,
What do you do when you get a sting?
Well, you use seawater to wash it off as well as you can.
Okay.
But what do? You put pseudo cream on it and a mammy kisses it better. Isn't that what happens to anything?
And what about peeing on it?
That's all rubbish. That's all rubbish. Do not pee on it.
I thought that was
Do
what
not
you had
pee
to
on it.
do.
Do not put vinegar on it. Do not do any of those things at all.
Now, Lova
And do
Suze,
not
I have
dogs.
done this.
Have you
Yeah,
peed
well,
on yourself?
Yeah, I have.
When you encountered a jellyfish?
I poured.
Well, I'm not responsible for what you do. Honest to God.
Snake and a jellyfish. Oh, stop.
I'm glad I wasn't there when that happened.
We are moving
but, I mean,
on.
the thing is, it's what happens in the summertime.
Yeah.
Go out and you see the jellyfish there and get out and swim somewhere else. And don't be such an idiot going around getting yourself
So
stung.
let's not be Egypt.
Okay, don't be an idiot
okay,
in the
moving
sea.
on to flying ants. So many of them at the moment. How come? It's just the season for
It's
it?
the season. It's the males and females up in the air, drugs, sex and rock and roll. That's the mating season for them. So you have the worker ants all the time under the ground and they have queens and the queens are the ones with the wings. That's a little black ant you get in the back garden.
How
But they get
important is the
wings.
queen role? Like, how important is their role in the colony?
Actually, there won't be anybody if there's no queen. She's the one that lays the egg. She's the one that mates. She's in charge. The poor workers do all the work, but, you know, there's millions of them. If you didn't have one of them, it wouldn't matter. If you had no queen, you'd have no colony.
That is
Really
true.
important,
I mean,
yeah.
obviously the weather at the moment has been pretty bad. The summer has been bad, bit of a washout. Beginning to warm up over the last couple of days. So is it because of that the ants are now resurging and coming out?
It has to do with warm, muggy weather in the end of July. And then all the ants in a particular area will come into season together. So the males out of one nest, females out of another. And they pour out in thousands of them up in the air. And, of course, they're mating. The swifts are after them. Seagulls are after them. There's all kinds of things. And then they fall back to earth. And the men are surplus to requirements. They all die. But the women break off their wings and they go into the nests again and they hibernate. And next year is when they set up a new nest. So they live on the muscle of those big wings. And so if you're sitting out in your veranda and these things are coming down and then you watch them instead of running away screaming, you'll actually see them breaking off their wings and you'll see what they're doing.
That's fascinating.
It's
That's actually a
didn't know
really
that.
interesting fact. I didn't know this.
And those black ants don't sting you. They're not able to sting us. They're not like any kind of jellyfish. They don't actually sting us. So they're a really interesting phenomenon. Food for the birds, food for the swifts. They're part of the whole life cycle of, you know, the environment. You can't have things at the top of the food chain if you haven't got anything on the bottom.
So
of the
leave them
food
to their
chain.
drug, sex, rock and roll lifestyle.
That's it.
There we go. Yeah.
That's the advice from our queen ant, or queen bee. We'll
Our
call her
queen bee.
Yeah, there you
Is that
go.
the proof of talking to the trees? I'm not sure.
All the way from County Louth. Anyway, don't move a muscle because after the break, we're in the kitchen with a man who loves to get his hands on some nice big scones, I believe. Amy is busting up. It's like, what's going on in this show? We'll see you in 3.